Hello and welcome to the show. So, we are going to be doing in the next 3 episodes a 3-part series all about ChatGPT specifically and how to use AI to help you write better in general. And of course, how to make more money as a writer or as with written content in your business, depending on how you want to use it. So, what is ChatGPT? So, it's a tool from openai.com, and on their site, they describe it as we have trained a model called ChatGPT, which interacts in a conversational way. The dialogue format makes it possible for ChatGPT to answer follow up questions, admit its mistakes, challenge incorrect premises, and reject inappropriate requests. So, on this 3-part series, I have a dear friend, Melissa Sue Tucker, who is my biz bestie ever since 2016. And actually, if you're a longtime listener of this show, a first time that she appeared was actually in episode 6, which we recorded on May 17th, 2016. And it's called Podcast Therapy and Instagram Hacks with Melissa Sue Tucker of OCW Productions. Melissa still owns that brand, but she can now also be found at bluebutterflydigital.com. And she's become a super pro with Pinterest, among many things. But over the past month or so, Melissa has really dived into using different AI tools to help her in creating different content. And so over the next 3 episodes, we're going to look at blogs, social media posts, and books. And we're going to show you exactly how to use this tool to get you a huge jumpstart on writing incredible content. All right, without further ado, let's jump in how to use this AI like ChatGPT to write incredible content. On this episode specifically, we'll be looking at blog posts.
All right, so last week we were talking about how the different ways that I'm using Chat GPT and just AI tools in general, because like not everybody knows about Chat GPT. It's just kind of like the new thing because it got released as free and everybody's all about it. Does have some limitations because from what I understand, the team that created that, like they scoured the web a few years ago. So I think that everything cuts off as of 2019 or 2020. So anything that's like time sensitive, you wouldn't really want to use Chat GPT for. However, like evergreen content you can, there's other tools that you can. But I thought would be fun for us to create a blog post. And you guys that are listening, what we'll do is we'll create all this and then you can come back to the show notes and see what we created. And then also obviously come watch the video if you want to do it alongside and, have us help you through it. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So I think that using AI for SEO is actually really smart and it ties into the blog post, but really anything that you're doing. All right. So you start by going to openai.com and creating an account. It's very easy to do. And then the fastest way to get to ChatGPT is not ChatGPT, it's chat.openai.com. And from there, you'll land on ChatGPT. At the bottom of the screen, you're going to see just a little prompt box. It's not super obvious, but it's just at the bottom. You can type in whatever prompt you can think of. And the number one thing that I would love for people to take away is just not to be afraid. If you put something in and it can't figure out what it wants you to do, it will let you know and you can try to swap it up. So for the sake of this, we were talking about the keyword topic, how to make money writing online, which I did a quick search using keywords everywhere, which we have an affiliate link if people want to use that. That is getting searched 480 times a month, and it does have really low competition. So that's great for us to shoot for. And all I'm going to do is copy that keyword phrase and ask ChatGPT, what should we tell them? Give us 5 headline titles to choose from.
Yeah, and so this is like where the AI needs humans. Is like depending on what prompts we give it, it'll give us different things. So yeah, so let's start with create 5 blog post titles. Yeah. So create 5 blog post titles using how to make money writing online keyword phrase.
So you just hit enter. The first one's coming up, second one. So how to make money writing online, a beginner's guide, 10 proven ways to earn money as an online writer, the ultimate guide to make money writing online. From blogging to freelancing, how to monetize your writing skills, maximize your earnings, tips and tricks for making money writing online. And what's cool is over on the left-hand
Oh,
side, as long as I leave this window open, I'll be able to have access to these. So out of these, do you like any of them or should we have them create a different one for us?
they're really good. I feel like number 4 and 5 are grabbing me the most from blogging to freelancing. Although, I mean, it depends on your audience, right? It's like exactly who would we be writing this blog for? Maybe that's something we would talk about because that's like the psychology of this stuff. So, are we writing to bloggers? In that case, from blogging to freelancing would be amazing because they might want to expand how much money they can make beyond just writing blogs and maybe trying to get ads in there. But
Mhm.
if we're writing to like someone just brand new to business, or maybe like an author who wants to find other ways to make money online, they might not as much identify with that. So I like 5 2, maximizing your earnings, tips and tricks to making money writing online. Although it kind of buries the lead, like the making money writing online is all the way at the end of that title. What do you think?
Mm, for SEO, I like it at the beginning. So me like just
Hmm.
thinking about that, I
So
would maybe
yeah.
go with number one. However, you're more in like the what's going to capture people and make them click.
What if we took 5 and just flipped it? So what if we said making money writing online, tips and tricks to maximize your earnings.
I love it. Okay,
So
so
it's
let's
like
put
the
that
same
in
thing, but
here.
we just put the keyword up front.
So it was making
Making money
money
writing
online.
online, put that in the beginning. And then put a colon, and then put tips and tricks to or for, and then put that in front of maximizing your earnings. Yeah.
All right, so we have
Making
our
money writing
title,
online. Yeah.
tips and tricks for, okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to copy that. We're going to go back into Chat GPT and ask it to write us an outline for a blog post with that title.
Cool. And so you're just right underneath our results. You're just putting that in.
Yep. You just put it right underneath there. I wouldn't even necessarily, well, I have to tell it which one, but if I just asked for one response and it gave me one and I liked it, I wouldn't even have to tell it what it would need to write the blog outline for. It would just know that that's what we're talking about.
Mm.
So just so you guys know, like it is going. So it created an introduction with an A and a B, building the platform with an A, B, and C. It's just creating the outline for us. Now we have the conclusion coming up.
Read the exact prompt that you put in.
Absolutely. So the prompt that I put in was write an outline for a blog post, making money writing online, colon, tips and tricks for maximizing your earnings.
Okay, so it gave us, let's see, 5 subheaders really. So it says introduction, and then the next section is building a platform, monetization strategies, then freelancing, and then a conclusion. And then it also gave A, B, and ABCs underneath all of them. So just to pick the third one, under monetization strategies, it says A, exploring different ways to make money writing online, such as affiliate marketing, sponsored content, and advertising. B, tips for creating and selling ebooks and online courses.
Ding, ding,
C,
ding.
information on finding and yeah, my favorite one. C, information on finding and applying for paid writing opportunities. I think
Oh,
that's a
this is
great
awesome.
start.
Yeah, like somebody like Laura, you're a professional writer. Like this is possibly you may look at this as a drop. Somebody like me, I'm like, that's good. Like let's use it and go. So let's go ahead and post it in here. And obviously this will be our draft. So anything that we want to change down the road, we totally can. But is there anything right now that you saw in there that you don't like that you would want me to change up?
So building a platform, personal website or blog, social media to promote. Yeah. And then under freelancing, will you scroll down a bit?
Yep.
Benefits and drawbacks of freelancing as a way to make money online, how to find freelance writing jobs and set your rates, building a strong portfolio and showcasing your skills. The thing I would say too is like this AI stuff is amazing for getting you started, and it can hopefully trigger your brain to think on how you can go even deeper. For example, under that section around the freelancing and tips and tricks for building a strong portfolio. So I might think of an example of what I've done in the past and tell a story about how that applied to me, and maybe even put the story in the beginning because a lot of people love to be drawn in by stories. So kind of like tell a story about when you were first freelancing and how people asked for writing samples and you sent them writing samples, but maybe it didn't match with what they were wanting to hire you for, so they ended up not hiring you, and you kind of realized later that you need to have different types of writing samples depending on the different clients and what their needs are. And so you could kind of tell a little story and then dive into the details afterwards. So you can use these to also jog your memory for how for specific examples you could add to make it even more helpful and real.
I love it. Yeah, I think people need to understand AI is amazing, but if we take out the human element of it, it's not going to be as powerful. And Google knows if you're using 100% AI. So if it does, it might help in the short term, but not in the long term, especially when you're blogging and doing SEO type things. All right, so I'm just going to take us through the process of what I would do
Yeah.
next. So I'm just going to tell it to write an intro paragraph. And when you're doing this on your own, you guys, this goes so fast. So this will just be on the topic that we already picked.
That's so crazy that you can literally use it in every step.
It's amazing.
All right. So you just said to put in write an intro paragraph, making money, writing online, tips and tricks for maximizing your earnings. And now it
Yep.
is literally writing out an introduction paragraph. It's happening right before our eyes.
It's insane. It goes really fast. And we're lucky because right now it doesn't seem to be a lot of people using it. I have had times when I haven't been able to access it. So if that happens to you, you can go ahead and refresh. A lot of times you can get right back on, or you might need to give it a few minutes. My understanding that they're pouring a ton of money into ChatGPT right now, and there's going to be like the next version that's going to be more up to date, and it'll probably be a paid version. All
Mm.
right, so I just pasted in the intro paragraph. What I'm going to do is take all these sub headings and tell it to write me a section about that as well. And for the sake of this, I think we should probably just go through, or maybe we can even like speed up for the sake of the audio or whatever. But for the video, I want to show people how to do this. So I just typed out write the section on, and this is this letter A for the intro. And so it's explanation of the potential for making money writing online. Hit enter, and it's going to go ahead and give us that paragraph. So you guys now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. So I might have possibly should have told it to just write me one paragraph, but for the sake of this, just copy it all and put it in there.
Now you can make an epic blog post, or even like you can see now too that we're doing an example for a blog post, but you can create so much content and then clean it up. And it could be like a free ebook that is a lead magnet that people want to download. You know, it might be like a 15-page ebook or use it to write an entire book. But let me really fast just read that introduction paragraph while you're getting more to be generated. The introduction that they produced was making money writing online is a highly achievable goal for anyone with a passion for writing and an internet connection. With the rise of blogging, freelancing, and other online opportunities, writers now have more ways than ever to monetize their skills. Whether you're a blogger looking to monetize your website or a freelancer looking for new clients, there are plenty of strategies and tips you can use to maximize your earnings. In this blog post, we'll explore some of the most effective ways to make money writing online, including building a platform, monetization strategies, and freelancing tips. By the end of this post, you'll have a better understanding of how to turn your writing into a profitable career. Like, that's insane. That's really well written.
It's pretty good. They do come in at a higher grade level, and anybody that follows Russell Brunson, I don't know where we're at with him right now, Laura, but he talks a lot right now about keeping his highest converting pages and content is written at a third grade level. So I do have Hemingway as one of the tools that we should go through and use to simplify a lot of this. And feel free, as I'm posting this content in here, to take out anything that looks like it's duplicated, because this section, the brief overview of the tips and tricks discussed in the post, it kind of reads a little bit like the top one to me.
Yeah, stuff like this obviously goes without saying, but you can't just plug it in, post it, and walk away. You definitely want to proofread it and edit it and make it into your own voice. Maybe simplify bits of sentences that sound a little bit too jargony or highfalutin.
And so you guys just
Make it
know
accessible.
the exactly. I was getting like 4 and 5 paragraphs, and I don't want that for this next section. So I asked it to ask me or to write an intro paragraph for building a platform, and that's what it did.
Cool. So instead of saying write an introduction for XYZ, write an introduction paragraph for.
Exactly.
You could even do write an intro sentence, write an intro page. I'm sure you could say whatever you say, it'll adjust to.
Let's see what we get here. I told it to write me this section on importance of creating a personal website or blog. It's just so much fun. Like I saw somebody on TikTok that told ChatGPT to basically like create them a list of things that they should do. They were going to a country they'd never been to, or like a city in a country that they had never been to. So they went through this whole thing where ChatGPT created an itinerary. It created a packing list. It can be like your personal assistant. It's amazing.
That's so cool. I want to try that. Or even like, I've got a toddler and I'm in Southern California. So, like, make me a list of 50 activities to do with a toddler or something in the area. Just try that.
Exactly.
Because sometimes, too, you can go and Google that, but then you get a bunch of ads popping up or these lists that are just boring and regurgitated or like obviously sponsored content. And so they're like just pushing stuff they're getting money for. So this could be an interesting way to get to more results faster without repetition or ads popping in your face. Interesting.
Yeah, and I know that prompts are like a really big thing that people are talking about right now. So, assuming that ChatGPT works with us here, we can copy the prompts and put them in the blog post too, if you want,
Or in the show
that
notes.
may be helpful. I'm sorry, yeah, the show notes. It's been a while since
Definitely.
I've been on a podcast.
I know. Well, longtime listeners of the show can see that I've slowed down my production as well. I'm having a little kid. So,
And you guys, I was on TikTok the other day and somebody popped up on my For You page and they were talking about podcasts that were like really great for the psychology of writing and like copywriting overall. And Laura's podcast was on there. I was so excited.
that's
It's like,
cool.
hey, do you know this guy?
Yeah, I didn't know him. Yeah, this is so crazy that like you can write a blog post or just in a chat. Yeah, I definitely love this. Like, even though I'm a writer, it's like this is cutting out busy work of doing research because we all do a little bit of research unless we're writing a personal story or fiction. I mean, even with fiction, you're probably doing research like what did Paris look like in the 1850s when your characters were walking around? Like you were doing research. Now you could go to this and just say, write me 3 paragraphs describing Paris in the 1850s. Maybe. I don't know if that would
Yeah.
work, but it could help fiction writers, nonfiction writers. It's cool.
Yeah, the thing that I found is it is limited on how many characters it'll give you, and I'm not sure what the max is. So you can certainly write smaller books but if you break it down like we're doing, where it's like, okay, give me the sections.
Right.
I've done it for a couple ebooks, so you can tell it basically the same thing. Give me an outline, give me the chapters, give me the sections in the chapters, and then just go ahead and have it write out each of the section. So now I am on to the third section. So we're going to write an intro paragraph on monetization strategies. It's just so mesmerizing to watch it type it all out.
Yeah.
For somebody like me, like I've used this on Pinterest pin descriptions and titles. I've been playing around with it for ecom because sometimes certain things seem like it should be so basic and so easy. But as we're working through it in our day, we get kind of tired or we get kind of in it. We start to overthink things. And this just makes it so
Mm.
easy to not overthink it, take a step back, have a nice place to start from and get content out really, really fast. Like I think I did when I first found this, I wrote 2 ebooks and like 3 blog posts in a day. I was just on fire.
That's so cool. Yeah, that would be quite a feat to do without any assistance with the research.
Oh, that would be a lot. Yeah, it's been years since I even wrote a blog post before that.
Yeah. All right. So, is there anything else you want to cover on this, or should we wrap it up and then leave people hanging? We could do a second round where we focus specifically on social media posts?
With this specifically, I do want to show the process that I would go through from here. So we could go through and
Oh,
copy
okay.
what we've already done and plug it into the Hemingway app
Mhm.
so that we can
Okay.
easily, well, actually, what I would like to do, let's see, I want to plug it into the AI content detector so you can see that it is actually being
Mhm.
seen as AI content. Wow, there's a lot of content here.
AI contact detector called.
It's writer.com/AI dash content dash detector. And I have that in the notes too, so that people can get to it if they come back to the show notes. But basically, you just plug in your content and you tell it to analyze the text. And I've got too many words. So we'll do this. Sorry.
Do a chunk.
Yeah. So it also goes pretty fast usually. Like this already told us that 7% of the content that we have was
Mhm.
written by a human. So that's why bringing it into the Hemingway app, which is just hemingwayapp.com, then you can go through. I'm just going to do a smaller section for the sake of what we're doing here. But anything that's read, you would make it easier to read. A lot of times you can do that by just adding a period in, making the sentences shorter. And you want to have the grade level, which is at 11 right now, down to 3 to 5 at the highest. And what that'll do is just make your content a lot easier. Let's see, let's get through. Let's just do this intro. And Laura, I'm going to be leaning on you to help me. Okay, so it says making money writing online is a highly achievable goal. Hemingway wants me to take out the word highly, so that's not a problem. It's a highly achievable goal, period. This goal
Mm.
can be accomplished. Oh, no, I didn't like that. This goal is for anyone with a passion for writing. Just see it like it's not the
Okay.
best, I'm sure, but it just brings it down.
Yeah. So basically, for people listening, you just took that sentence, took out the word highly, which wasn't necessary, and then split it into two. So it's two shorter sentences instead of one long one.
Yeah, these sentences are showing up as hard to read. And if you haven't used Hemingway app
They're
before,
so
it's really
long.
great. It highlights it in red with us for us. So, with the rise of blogging, freelancing, and other online opportunities, writers now have more ways than ever to monetize their skills.
Take out
Maybe,
online.
okay, that was good. That brought it from
Okay.
like very hard to read down to hard to read. And now we're at a grade of 10.
Yeah. Change
I
from
would
red to yellow.
say just with blogging, freelancing, and other opportunities, writers now
What
have.
about with increased blogging, freelancing, and other opportunities instead of like the rise of? Oh, I didn't like that. Turn it black, red.
So, what if we
Okay, yes, switch it. Exactly. I was just going to say that. Yeah, move like the
writers
main
have,
noun or main subject up front.
I mean, so I just
That's not
said
a complete
writers,
sentence. Yeah.
it's not. Now have more ways than ever to monetize their skills, period. They can do this with blogging, freelancing, and other opportunities. Which this isn't perfect. This is where you really need the
Yeah.
human element to come in and do this. But now that we've like edited some of our text, I'm going to copy that section and come back to the AI detector and paste that in there and see what it thinks. Does it still think that it was created? So now we have 99% human generated content. So if I was looking, if I was more interested in people just coming to my website and maybe giving me their information because they're gonna, they know they want my lead magnet or something like that, that for me, I'd be fine using that content and going. I know somebody
The
like,
7% one.
no, this one, the 99%. Like
Okay.
this,
Mm.
it says making money writing online is an achievable goal. This goal is for anyone with a passion for writing and an internet connection. Writers now have more ways than ever to monetize their skills. They can do this with blogging, freelancing, and other opportunities. I would be okay using that. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's not winning a Nobel Prize in literature, but who cares? That's probably not what most people are doing to write and make money online anyway. It's like, it's achieving the goal of communicating in a really clear way. And you're not going to get dinged by Google and other search engines for showing up as too much AI because the original one at 7%. Google knows that because they've got their own creepy crawlers that go through this stuff. And if it's too high with like an AI detecting rating, they're not going to rank it as high stuff generated more human based. So this is going to do better with ranking than the 7% one would.
Exactly. All right. So what do we think? I can go through and do the rest of this later, so that way we have the finished product for the show notes if you want, or for you can have another blog post if you want.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah, I could publish it as a blog post and then we can link to it from inside the show notes
Yeah,
so people can see it live and
super
read it and
smart.
see if they feel like it's human generated or not.
What I might end up doing, if you're cool with it, is I'll go through and I'll generate the rest of the content after like we're done with the call, and then send it to you and have you run it through Hemingway app. Is that
Sure.
cool? So that you can
Mhm.
get down and make sure it's in your style.
I was just gonna say in my blog, I can have different authors. So I have some that I've put as me because like I really put the time in to do it. I have others that are just as team because there are people that I have hired or like subcontracted with and or people I'm training and I want to see have them write a blog. So like team written ones, I tag them as team in my feed. So I could even potentially create a new author and call it like AI assisted or something. So if people really want the clear information about like who's the writer or not, I feel like that could be a nice way to be like really honest about it too, or even put a note at the top, be like, this was written with the assistance of AI in the research phase, or
Yeah,
be honest.
I would go ahead and put something, but like edited by humans or something along the lines that way.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah, that'd be
just to
funny.
help the algorithm out
First
a little
draft by
bit.
AI, edited by humans.
Go in here.
Very cool. So just as a recap then, so the different tools that we used on this quick episode are Chat GPT,
Mm-hmm.
the AI Contact Detector, HemingwayApp.com, Google Docs just on our screen for communicating. Oh, keywords everywhere. Then use that to do some SEO searching to kind of see what phrases are worthwhile for being discovered around.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do, in my opinion, is write a whole blog post article and have it be something that like nobody's searching for. It's
Yeah.
really about like making sure somebody's looking for it. And then now on the flip side, if your website, I don't remember exactly what the ranking is, but if it's not one of the huge websites that's getting a ton of traffic, you want to limit your keywords. If you want to focus on keywords that are being searched for between 100 and maybe like 1,000 times a month versus one that's being searched for 100,000 times a month, those keywords are really hard to rank for, and there are already sites that are doing that. Not to say you can't get there, but you shouldn't start there. You should start for the ones that are a little bit easier to use. Okay, so that is in a nutshell how you would use AI or Chat GPT, at least, to create a blog, like really epic blog post article for you. And then Laura will have that in the show notes where you can come back and see what we created.
Yeah, and the show notes are going to be at copythatpops.com/220, because this is episode 220. And then where people can find you, Melissa, bluebutterflydigital.com if they want to reach out and talk about getting assistance with SEO or Pinterest. What else do you want to call people toward?
Just any questions that you might have. I have a contact page that'll email me directly. Feel free to do that. Give me a day or two. And I do have a disclaimer when somebody does contact me that if you're trying to sell me stuff, I do not intend on replying. But if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer. Right now, I'm really focused on Pinterest because it's amazing for SEO. I have pins that I think Laura and we probably worked on together, but I posted back in 2018. They're still sending me traffic to this day. So I love Pinterest right now. But any SEO type questions, if you want to book like a VIP day where we go over whatever your marketing questions are that are more technical, more SEO related, or just strategy, I'd love to help you.
And then another little fun fact, we are lightly starting a business women group. So we have a little Facebook group that we're starting.
Yeah, so come into businesswomengroup.com. It'll redirect you if you're hearing this right after the podcast was released. It's probably just going to go to the Facebook group, which will be a great place to connect. Laura and I have this idea that we would just want to create a community for non-binary or women, people that are in business. You don't necessarily have to be doing online business. You could be a realtor or a chiropractor or somebody with a flower shop, or you could be doing online business as well. And you are looking for support on how to market yourself online. And we are really excited to jump in and help you with anything specific that we can help you with. But even I think more powerful is, as we build our community, is bringing in our friends that are experts in their field and having them help, having them create training and just really support this community that I think a lot of times we are lonely, right? Like I've been lonely.
Mhm.
I want more friends that are in it with me. And so we thought that this would be a fun thing to do.
But really, especially after COVID, like so many people moved or just kind of broke, like the little normal get-togethers just broke down and disappeared. Because I know we moved twice since the pandemic, so it's like you have to start all over, meeting friends, and everyone's like still a little bit sketched out about getting together and things. So it's nice to have more and more communities and support online.
It is. So what should we do? Should we create some like a Facebook post for this blog post?
Ooh, let's do that. But let's officially wrap up this podcast episode,
Okay.
and it'll be a little cliffhanger to part two, where we'll do some social media content to promote the blog post that we just wrote. Thank
I
you so
love it.
much for your expertise today, Melissa.
Thank you. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
See you in part two. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you'd like more, head back to the show notes at copythatpops.com/220. And I will talk to you next time where we'll find more ways to write copy that pops.